You're listening to the Master Passive Income Podcast Network. Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name's Dustin Heiner, and I'm here to help you afford anything you want in life, create generational wealth by investing in real estate so you never ever have to work a job again and be financially independent. And in today's show, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can start investing in real estate. And it's going to be a series. I think we're going to have 3 or 4 different episodes, and I'm going to walk you step by step how you can invest in real estate and become financially independent. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here is your host, Dustin Heiner.
What's up? Super blessed as always to have you here with me on the show. And I am super pumped to be sharing with you and starting this series. It probably will be 3, maybe 4 different episodes long. So every week you got to come back and listen to the next one. But I'm going to be walking you through how you can invest in real estate and how to get started, how to do everything. And what I'm going to be doing also, which is I'm super excited. I'm currently working on a 5-day challenge for you. I'm working on a 5-day challenge for you because I want to see you invest in real estate. I want you to become successfully unemployed like myself. And I know that if I get you on a challenge, if I get you to challenge yourself to, and even literally give you the step-by-step process on how to invest, showing you which tools to use, how to get an LLC set up for free, how to find the deals, how to find off-market properties, how to even assume other homes, the loans on the properties. In fact, I've just showed my students how you can find a 2.45% interest rate on a home and take over the loan. I'm going to show you all this stuff. And so these next few weeks, I'm going to be walking you through in the podcast, teaching you how to do it. But here is where you really need to jump in and learn even more. It's with my 5-day challenge. Now, the 5-day challenge is like, I'm working on it right now. There's so much content to create. And you might be thinking, well, Dustin, why are you doing a 5-day challenge for free? Why are you putting on this podcast teaching me how to do this for free? Well, honestly, it's because my goal is to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. See, I make my money through real estate. I have 33, I think, rental properties. That's making me a lot of money every single month. I have apartment complexes, 750 units or 775 units. I'm rambling here, but I've got a lot of apartment complexes that make me a lot of money and hotels that make me a lot of money. And I make my money through real estate. And I just realized I have more and more fun when I help you to invest in real estate. Every single student that's come on and found me through the podcast, they, either got into my courses or even just from the podcast and maybe got my book for free, or they just found all my content and invested. That gives me so much more encouragement to keep going and giving away all this sort of stuff. So you're going to be getting, I think, 3 or 4 weeks of this, how to invest in real estate as a beginner, how to do everything. I'm going to walk you through everything. And I'm also going to be doing that 5-day challenge that I'm telling you about. It's going to be recurring, like I might do it like once a month, this 5-day challenge. So check the link in the description. The link will actually, I think it'll be masterpassiveincome.com/challenge. And that will give you to the most current challenge that I'm running. And I've talked to a lot of other online business owners who do challenges, and they say they are so amazed at how much success that people are getting just from the challenge. I have a friend of mine that has a challenge, and he's getting so many people just from the challenge becoming business owners, because that's what he teaches people, how to be a business owner. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this free online challenge so that everybody, I'm going to walk you through the path. I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to even show you how to find the properties, how to even give you the right property managers to use, right cities to use, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to do all that for you because hopefully you are one of the millions of people. I'm hoping, and my goal is to, I guess mission in life too, is to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. And so that needs to be you. You need to change your life. And that's what I have this podcast for, as well as a challenge. And honestly, I even have my mastermind coming up. And I said this last week I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. In fact, this challenge is probably one of my last things I might be doing for a while. That is really just putting out lots of content, lots of creative content. It takes a lot of time for me to put all this together. Well, I'm going to be doing a mastermind. And this is, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing the coaching anymore because I'm realizing I might. I just want to get into farming or ranching. I want to have cattle. I want to have animals and I want to have land. And that's looking so enticing. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing any masterminds or even live events, but I am having one mastermind coming up in September. It's going to be 19th through the 21st, and people are usually flying on the 22nd. But this is going to be in Denver, and it's going to be a mastermind small group, not like RubeCon where it's 3 days, big production. No, this is a small group of, let's say, 10 to 15 people, as well as my personal mastermind guys. These guys are amazing business owners. One, Tom Sylvester, he takes businesses from 6 to 8 figures, not just 6 to 7 figures, but 6 to 8 figures. He's amazing at business. And I have Adam Carroll coming, good friend of mine, obviously teaches lots of stuff on public speaking as well as investing. And Michael Kwan as well, a good friend of mine, does all the AI stuff. He's brilliant at that, uses that for his real estate investing. I'm bringing so many other great real estate investors, and other students are coming. So I want you to be a part of this mastermind. Like I said, I don't know how many more of these. I might not do any more of these masterminds because it takes a lot out of me to put these on, and just a lot of work. When, man, if I just want, I just want to start, farming and ranching and stuff. But use the link in the description, masterpassiveincome.com/mastermind. Use that link to join me in the mastermind. Honestly, your life will be changed by coming to this mastermind, and then get in and get notified for the challenge once it's out. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'm going to put out this challenge, 5-day challenge. It's going to be during the day, and you might have some replays so you can watch them if you can't make them. But this, I'm going to be giving you the nuts and bolts, the walkthroughs and everything. And by the time it's over, after 5 days, you're going to have the business built, like actually built. You're going to have everything done. You're going to have the education. You're going to have the knowledge. And this is what I do for my one-on-one coaching students. So you don't even have to get the one-on-one coaching. I'm going to be doing it in the challenge. Now, there's going to be lots of people. So you're not going to be like, hey, Dustin, let me ask you a question. There's not going to be that much time. There will be a VIP area. It's a small upgrade to where you can jump in the call for another hour with me, where I'm going to be answering everybody's questions. So you'll get that as well. But go to the link in the description, masterpassiveincome.com/challenge, and you'll get in the most recent challenge, because I'm going to be doing this, as well as I might even have some of my coaches take over the challenge, so I don't have to do it myself all the time. But this is just another way to help you be one of the millions of people that I am on a mission to help to invest in real estate. Now, this is episode number 1 of a series, and I have planned out 3, maybe 4, depending on how much I get into each one of these episodes. And I'm going to be showing with you how you can invest in real estate as a beginner, how step by step, everything you need to do. Because I'll be completely honest and say, buying the property is the easiest part of real estate investing. That's the easiest part. But buying the right property, getting the right tenants, getting the right people, experts to do the work for you, to fix up the properties, to manage the properties, to make money every single month, to know if you should short-term rent it, if you should mid-term or long-term, how to even do those, how to get the right people to fix it up, how to invest out of state. I'm going to be covering all that in these episodes, as well as in the 5-day challenge. So get ready. Like, I am super pumped to have you come back every single week, because I'm just putting on these master classes because I want you to become a successful real estate investor. And I want to pause for just a quick second and say thank you so much for listening to the show. If you've gotten anything out of the show, I would appreciate it if you went to anywhere that you listen to, let's say Apple or Spotify or wherever, and leave a 5-star review. Honestly, I really appreciate you leaving an honest review. I just love giving all this information out, and I want to see you succeed. Also, send this to one person. Just tell one person, say, hey, Dustin wants to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. You need to listen to this because it's going to change your life. Lastly, get my real estate investing course completely for free. Text the word rental, RENTAL, rental to 33777. Rental to 33777. I'll literally give you my course showing you everything in the business so that you can become financially independent. When you start investing, you are actually putting your money to work. Now, a lot of people think that investing is many different things, but what I will help you to understand is investing is when you have something do the work for you, and then you continually make money from that investment. So in today's show, we're going to be talking all about how to start investing in real estate. Now, there's going to be a few episodes inside of this series because there's so much to talk about, and I want to give you as much information to help you get started investing in real estate. I want to give you something that has everything that I'm going to be talking about today written down for you, and I want to give it to you for free. I'm going to send it to you myself. It is my best-selling book, How to Quit Your Job with Real Estate Rental Properties. How to Quit Your Job with Rental Properties is a bestseller, and I want to give it to you for free. Go to masterpassiveincome.com/free, all one word, free book. FREEBOOK. And I'll have this in the description. So if you're on your phone, if you click on the description, I'll have that link in there for you as well. So masterpassiveincome.com/free book. I'll send it to you for free. I'll even put it in the bag myself and put the label on it. Actually, my kids love putting the stickers on it. So I'll have them put the stickers on it, and I'll send it to you myself. All you're going to need to do is pay a little bit of shipping and handling. It's just basically covering the cost of everything, but no profit at all. It's all going to you. I want to see you change your life. Now, I want to talk to you today about how you can get started. Now, we can jump right into, hey, let's just buy that first property. Let's do that. Well, if you do that, you're probably going to do the business wrong, and you're probably going to make mistakes. I've made so many mistakes that I've made sure that I help all of my students, all of my coaching students, everybody that goes through my online course, the Ultimate Real Estate Investing System. I make sure that they don't make the stupid mistakes that I did. Actually, the mistakes are almost like they're common sense, but you don't realize the option of not making that mistake until you actually make the mistake or somebody tells you. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're driving down a road and you see that this one road has 4 different directions you can go. You're coming down one, and there's 3. You can either go straight, turn right, or turn left. Well, if you are looking at a map pulling all the way back and you know the destination you want to go to, you're looking at a map, you can say, oh, this road easily points to this direction, and that's where I want to go. That'll lead me to my destination. Well, the other 2 roads, unless you actually have a map, unless you're actually shown which way to go, if you turn right or you turn left or you go straight, whichever way is the wrong way, there's only one right way, but there's many wrong ways. If you make a turn that goes in the wrong direction, then you're going to have a problem because you're not going in the right direction. You're not going to get to the end goal, the end location, destination that you want to get to. Now, that's something that all of us need to know, is that when you start investing in real estate, that there are many different ways that people try to tell you how to do it, but there really is only one way to invest. And investing means you're putting your money to work continually over and over and over again. So first, I'm going to start off with why you should start investing in real estate. Now, that's a big question. Now, why? Why in the world would I even want to invest in real estate? There's other things like stocks, there's mutual funds, there's 401ks, which they're basically all the same thing. They all go to buying a stock in a company. Other ones are just managed by other people, which whole other story for another day. But there are so many other things I can invest my money in. What if I wanted to invest my money in an old painting that might appreciate over time, or a bottle of wine, which I have done before, which is stupid because I didn't know what I was doing. I just bought a bottle of wine. I was like, maybe this will appreciate it. It was only like $100. And by the time it was, like 3 years later, I was talking to my buddy who is a wine viticulture guy, or basically he makes wine. And he says, dude, it's just basically worth what you paid for it. Anyways, all that story, long story to say that real estate rental properties is a way to bring financial wealth to you and your generations to come when you invest in rental properties. When you buy and hold that property, you hold it for a long term, long periods of times, for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, like however long you can hold it, and you keep passing it down to your children. And then your children pass it down to their children, and then their children pass it down to their children. Now, what I want to do is quickly go over, because I've actually had a whole entire podcast where I talk all about the 6 ways that real estate makes you money, but I'm going to quickly go over the 6 ways that real estate makes you money. And if you want to check out that podcast show in its entirety, go to masterpassiveincome.com/028. That's the 28th podcast where I talk all about the 6 ways that you make money in real estate. And I go in much, much further detail. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through really, really quickly the 6 ways that real estate rental properties, not just real estate, not like flipping and wholesaling and tax liens and deeds and all that stuff. I'm not going to give you any of those. I'm going to give you, this is solely for real estate rental properties. Okay, number 1, my favorite is cash flow. That means money's coming into your pocket every single month without you working at all. That's how I'm able to not have a job. That's how I'm able to travel the world, be with my family, be with my lovely wife, and do whatever we want and not worry about bills. That's cash flow. That's where your rents exceed your expenses. Basically, you rent a property for $1,000. The expenses total $750, and so you pocket $250 a month. That's cash flow. Next up is equity capture. Equity capture is fantastic because that is basically making money when you buy something. So imagine buying a car and you actually make money, right? The first day that you buy the car, the first second you buy the car, you make money, which we know that's not true. If you buy a brand new car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, 20% is taken off the value just because it's not new anymore, it's used now. So imagine buying something that the first day you've made money. That's what happens when you get equity capture. You buy one property. With that one property, let's say you buy it for $100,000. But as soon as you buy it, because you bought it below market value, and the actual market value of that $100,000 property is $120,000, well, you have $20,000 in equity. You've captured that equity. You can put that in your pocket. You can use it for something else, which I've used it to actually buy other properties, but you get equity capture. You get automatic money right when you buy the property. Another one is market appreciation. And we absolutely know that the market always appreciates. Now, there's sometimes it comes back down, there's a crash, but it always comes back up. Like right now, the prices are right back up to where the market crashed back in 2009. And so market appreciation, the value of homes will always go up just for the pure thought of appreciation, even if it's solely just for inflation. Inflation is what is going to cause prices of homes to go up, but there's also buyer demand and interest rates and so many other things that can actually entail for the value of the property to go up on its own. That's market appreciation. Next one is forced appreciation. Forced appreciation is when you buy the property. Let's say again, you buy that property for $100,000. It's worth $120,000 just because you bought it lower, but then you put $5,000 in. You put paint on the walls, you put a new flooring in, new carpets, trim up all the weeds in the front and backyard and plant some nice flowers. Basically, you put $5,000 in to make it look good. And then when you're done, it's worth $140,000. So you have a property, you bought it for $100,000. You put $5,000 in. Now it's worth $140,000. That is a $35,000 equity gain in that property from when you bought it and you put into it. That is forced appreciation. So you force the appreciation up $15,000 because it was worth $120,000. You put $5,000 into it. It appreciated a total of $20,000. Well, $20,000 minus $5,000 you put into it is $15,000. Hopefully these numbers are not going to worry you too much. But basically, you appreciated it up. $15,000 because you put your work into it to make the property better. Now, here's another fantastic one. Now, these are all great, but this is just brilliant. I just absolutely love this one. The next one is the mortgage buy down, or basically the mortgage is being paid for by the tenant. You're not paying the mortgage. You're not paying the principal and the interest. The tenant is. And isn't that just beautiful? So here's what it comes down to. You buy a house for $100,000. Let's say you get an FHA loan. You put 3.5% down, which is $3,500. Well, you still owe $96,500 on that property. Well, if you rent it out for the entire life of that loan, you are not paying that $96,500. Your tenant is paying that $96,500. On top of that, they're paying the interest. They're paying for that as well because that's accounted for in your expenses and you're still making money. Isn't that fantastic? The last one I'll quickly go over is tax advantages. One, it's a business, so you can business write-offs. Two, you can do capital gains, tax deferment, which is a 1031 exchange where you defer your capital gains to the next property, basically buying the next property, which I'm not going to get into. It's a whole nother thing. But tax advantages are ways to get out of paying taxes legally and making money at the same time. So cash flow, equity capture, market appreciation, forced appreciation, mortgage buy down or mortgage being paid by the tenants, and tax advantages. So those are 6 ways. So when you're asking me, well, hey, Dustin, why in the world should I invest in real estate rental properties? Well, here's why, those 6 ways. But not only that, I'm going to give you more. So it's also an automatic business. It's a business that runs itself. Like I've literally taken weeks vacations. Like in 2017, I went to Japan for 6 weeks, driving all around Japan with my family and did not do any work on my properties at all. And I still made money. As well as I went to Europe in 2018 for 6 weeks and traveled all around Europe, 11 different countries for 6 weeks and didn't do any work. It was so amazing. Now this year, we're going to be going to the East Coast, going from Florida, driving all the way up to Washington, D.C. and New York for a 4-week trip just because, we have a couple conferences to visit. It's going to be super fantastic. So it's an automatic business because you get other people to do the work for you. Here's another reason why. You also get financial freedom, financial independence. You can basically retire early and quit your job, your JOB, which is just over broke. That's what it stands for, at least in my opinion. When I quit my job, it was one of the best days outside of being married and, believing in God and having my 4 kids. Quitting my job was one of the best days of my life. So financial freedom. Imagine not having to worry about your bills anymore. Imagine not having to worry about, hey, I want to go on a vacation. Do I have money? Well, yes, you actually have money coming in. Not having to worry about anything at all financially because you have money coming in. So if that's not enough for you, why you should start investing in real estate, I'm going to give you one more. If you invest in real estate as a rental property, there is a 99% chance that you will not lose money if you do it the right way. I know so many people have the fears and concerns that they're going to lose money because they're investing and they're putting their money into a property. Well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if they get evicted? And what if they tear up the property? Well, if you do it right, if you do the business right, there's a 99% chance you're not going to ever lose money. In fact, you're going to make money. It's been, I want to say, like 10 years since I've literally written a check myself to pay for something on my properties. In fact, I'm always getting checks because of all my properties making me money. So hopefully that's enough to show you why you should start investing in real estate. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what is not investing. What is investing and what is not investing? In my opinion, investing is buying and holding something in real estate. And when you hold that, you're making money every single month, all the things we just talked about. Now, what is not investing in real estate? Be completely honest and say flipping is not investing. You may invest your money for maybe, 6 months or 2 months or however long, and then you pull your money back out, but you're not really investing. You're buying something, fixing it up, and then selling it to somebody else really quickly to make money. And so here's what I view investing as. Investing is I put my money in something and I make money over and over again until I'm done, until I sell the property, until I get out, but I'm continually making money. Now, if you're flipping a property, if you flip one property, that's great. You might make some money, which is really, really good to make money, but you have to flip more properties in order to make more money. Like you don't have a cash machine where money just keeps coming in because once you sell that property's gone. You cannot make money you can't sell it over and over again. You cannot do that. Where I can rent a property over and over and over and over and over again to many, many tenants. And so flipping is not investing. It's basically you have your own job. You work one time and you get paid one time. You don't work one time and get paid multiple times. Another way that people say is investing in real estate, but it's not, is wholesaling. Wholesaling is basically where a person finds somebody who wants to sell their property, talks them down, gets them to contract with them as opposed to with a real estate agent. And then they also find a buyer and they match the two, the buyer and the seller together, and they make a commission, just like a realtor would, $2,000 to $5,000 or whatever it might be, a commission on the connection between the two people. And so a wholesaler completely relies on that next deal. If they don't get that next deal, they don't eat. They don't have money to do whatever they want. And so it's not investing. Now, people might completely disagree with me, but this is my opinion that investing is where you work one time and you make money over and over and over again. So flipping is not, wholesaling is not, just like being a realtor. Being a realtor, you got a job. You make that next sale, you sell the next property, you make money, but you got to go back out and do it again. Like if you didn't work for an entire year being a realtor, you won't make any money. If I didn't work for an entire year being an investor, I will always be making money because my property works for me. Now, here's the thing. I still don't work, and I haven't worked for 2.5 years since I quit my job, and I still haven't worked, but I'm still making money, hundreds of thousands of dollars over and over again. It is fantastic. Now, let's get into the actual steps. And this is going to be broken up into a couple different podcasts because there's so many steps that I want to give you a good understanding of how to start investing in real estate rental properties. Now, your first, very, very first step, and this is what I do with all my coaching students. I walk them through the process. I get them to where they need to get to be. The first, very, very first step is getting your financial house in order. Basically making sure that you're financially set to start investing. Now, there's a problem that if you inherit like say $1 million, or you win the lottery and you win $1 million, but you don't have your financial house in order, you don't know how to spend wisely, you don't know how to cut your expenses, you don't know how to increase your income, all that money is going to get blown through and you're not going to have any money anymore. That's the big problem. So what we want to do as investors is to understand money, understand how it can benefit us, and understand how to use money for our benefit and for our family's benefit. So here's a few steps I'm going to give you to get your financial house in order. Your first one is to reduce expenses. Reduce the amount of expenses that you have. Like look at everything that you're spending your money on and figure out, hey, can I cut this out? Like instead of paying an $80 cable television bill, should I just get like Hulu for $10 a month or however much they're charging now? Or should I get some other, TV program, or just buy an antenna and just watch over the air, or read books, go to the library, read books, but just figuring out ways to cut that out. I'm not saying that you should cut it out forever. Once you're actually wealthy, once you have plenty of money coming in, then buy the Starbucks that you want. Go get your cable, go get the extra HBO package and the NFL ticket, go do whatever you want because you have money. But now's the time to start reducing expenses so we can sacrifice a little now. So in the end, we're going to live the dream life. Okay, so number one is reduce expenses as much as you can. Number two is increase your income or your ability to earn money, to make money. If it's going to your boss and say, hey boss, I do a fantastic job, you should give me a raise, or I'm requesting a raise, then do that. If it's working on the weekends, driving for Uber to make more money, then it's doing that. It's increasing the amount of money that comes into your pocket. And in just a minute, I'm going to be talking about saving for a down payment. This is why we're doing it. We're cutting expenses so that we can have more money in our pocket at the end of the month. And we're going to increase income so that we have more money in our pocket at the end of the month so we can then save more. Now, here's the next step I'm going to give you in getting your financial house in order. Eliminate debt. Literally destroy that debt by knocking it out as quickly and as fast as possible. Now, when you have debt, now I'm not talking about like a mortgage. If you have a mortgage on a home that you're living in, that's okay debt. That's not consumer debt. Consumer debt would be getting credit cards and writing those up to where you have $10, $20, $40, $80,000 in credit card debt. Get rid of those. Even if you have school loans, get rid of those school loans. You want to get every debt. If you have a car, I've even worked with students where they've sold their car, their $30,000 car, to buy a $5,000 car that gets them from point A to point B so they can have that money to then invest in real estate. And so what I say is eliminate debt. Now, I'm going to give you a quick tip, a quick pro tip that I suggest. If you have credit card debt, if you have many credit cards, this is the way that I would knock these out. This is what I tell all my students too, is to use the snowball method. Say you have 4 credit cards and you have from highest to lowest, the lowest dollar amount. You want to attack that one as hard as you can so you get a win under your belt. You basically get rid of that one credit card, get rid of that one payment. So knock that lowest one out as fast as possible. Now, don't go with the highest interest rate. I know we're going to get to that, but we want a win under our belt. And here's what you do. When you knock out that first credit card, you take that entire payment and everything extra that you're putting towards knocking that out, and then you apply that to the second one. And imagine if you had that entire first payment plus the extra, putting to the second one, how much faster would that one get knocked out? And then when you're done with that, do it again. Take all that first and second money that you were putting towards those credit cards, apply it to the third and then the fourth and so on and so forth. And when you're doing that, you're putting so much more money down to pay off the principal. You're not going to be adding that much interest because you're knocking the principal out so much faster. So get your financial house in order, reduce expenses, increase income, and eliminate debt. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to buy your own house and stop renting. There's a reason why I rent my properties to people. And it might be like you, if you don't have a home that you live in, you're renting a property from somebody just like me, where I am making money, a minimum of $250 every single month from that one property. So when you're paying your rent, that is putting extra money into an investor's pocket. And I want that to be you. So this is what you do. You want to buy your own house and stop renting. And there are many different reasons why you should do this. A big one is you're not throwing money away. So here's a list. You're not throwing money away. That's number one. Number two, you're putting money into your pocket because any extra you would be paying on your rent, you're putting that money into your pocket. Number three, you're getting equity in that property that as you pay the mortgage off over time, you get more equity because the principal balance lessens and the value of your home increases, so you have equity. Then you can tap into that equity, and I've done this so many times, it's not even funny. Actually, it's funny how many times I did it. It's like exaggeration. I actually laugh when I think about how many times I did it. I pull so much money out of my personal residence as well as my rental properties to buy more properties because that's just ready cash that if I just refinance, pull the money out, I can buy properties that make me money. It pays off the new mortgage that I got, as well as makes me extra money. I can go into detail of how I did it, which I've done in the past. Go check out the BRRRR strategy that I've talked about in the previous podcast, so you can learn all about that as well. So stop renting and buy your own property. Next one. This is a big one that I always work through with my students, is you want to create your investing goals. Create your goals for investing. Create them so that you can understand how in the world are you going to be able to quit your job or change your life to get the life that you want so you can live the dream life. What's the right path for you? Now, when I work with coaching students, I help them to have so many options. That's the thing we talked about in the beginning, is having options. If you don't have options, well, you're just more reacting. Something happens, then I got to react. Well, one thing, I've done so many different things right and so many different things wrong that I know just about every single thing that's going to happen and the decisions you're going to have to make, the different options you can possibly have, and then the route to go. So when I'm working with my coaching students, I'm working with them to create their goals. Like if somebody wants to quit their job within 5 years, we say, okay, you want to quit your job in 5 years? Now, next, what do you have to work with? How much money do you have to invest? How do we take what you have to invest and then get that to accomplish your goal within 5 years to quit your job? And we work through that. So it could be maybe instead of quitting your job, maybe you just want to have a little extra money in your pocket. So maybe an extra $2,000 a month in your pocket so you can save up to go on trips. You might really love your job. I mean, not everybody has to quit their job. You may really love your job. God forbid you actually got, laid off or something. But if you love your job, you just want extra money, this is another thing. This is another goal that people can have. And so we would look at what you start with and how to get your goals and accomplish your goals. And we work towards that. So create your goals. What is your ultimate vision for your life? Do you want to move to Hawaii and live there and never work again? Do you want to move to the mountains? Do you just love living in San Diego? What are your goals? What do you want to do? And we're going to work together to make that come true for you. From where you are to where you're going to go, where you want to go, we work together. So create your goals. That's a huge, huge one. And then a big pro tip, don't let those goals get out of your sight. Right now you're passionate about this. You get the excitement. You know that you can do it. You absolutely can do it. I have so many people that have done it. You can do it, but what's going to happen is life's going to get in the way. And all of a sudden you're going to be thinking, oh man, I got this bill, I got that bill, and we have this coming up. And there's always excuses, but you need to push through those. These are your goals that are going to get you to your end dream life where you're not going to have to worry about money or your time or somebody controlling your life. You have financial freedom. So this is you want to focus and not lose track of your goals. I'll tell you, one time I lost track of my goals. So it was about year 6 when I lost track of my goals. I knew I was going to quit my job, and I basically started spending the money that I was making. So I remember it was specific. It was like in July of like 2014. I was starting to realize, hey man, I got a lot of money coming in. This is great. I was making, like $8,000 a month. And I started spending that money. I started spending before I had. So I was buying lots of stuff. We were going on trips, and I took my eye off the ball because I still had my job. But I didn't quit because I was kind of scared and nervous. I didn't have enough money saved up and all that sort of stuff. But I thought, man, I have plenty of money. I'm making $70,000 from my job. I'm making $8,000 a month from my properties. And so I started spending and buying and spending and buying and trips and all that sort of stuff. And it turned out that the next month or like 2 months later, after I started racking up debt on credit cards, it wasn't really debt. I was spending on credit cards thinking I had money. Oh, more money is going to be coming in next month, so I'll just pay it off then. Well, it went from like an $8,000 check or $7,000, whatever it was, to like, and I specifically remember this, it was an $1,113 check. Instead of like a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 check, it was $113. My jaw hit the ground. I was like, what happened? Well, many things happened. 1 or 2 evictions. I just bought 1 or 2 properties, so we were fixing it up. Tenants weren't paying. So many different things. And all of a sudden, I went from thousands to $100. It was crazy. And it took 2 months of I think it dipped down as low as like $48 for the next couple months. And then it gradually went back up. But it went back up after I got the next properties rented out and all that sort of stuff, evictions all taken care of. But man, that set me back a lot because it really hindered my ability to save and to buy more property. So I took my eye off the ball. I could have quit a year earlier from my job if I didn't take my eye off the ball, but I did. And, still, praise the Lord, I was still able to quit at 9 years, but I could have quit at 8. So don't take your eyes off the ball. Now, here's the next thing that I want to give you. You need to get real estate investing education. I'm going to be completely honest with you and tell you that I screwed up because I did not get education. I read a couple books and I read a couple blogs and listened to a couple podcasts and said, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Well, in doing that, it has cost me tens of thousands of dollars, maybe $30,000. I don't even want to count. I'll give you an example. I bought 2 properties at the same time, and I didn't know that if the electricity was off for a year, and remember, this was like 2010 or something, where there's a lot of foreclosures. The electricity had been off for a year, and the city came in and said, it has to be brought back up to code for us to turn on the electricity. Well, everything was out of code. It was like a 50-year-old house. So the electricity was so out of date that the code was so advanced that I had to rewire the entire house. I had no clue. If I had somebody telling me and kind of watching out for things like this that has been there and done that, I would have saved. It cost me $3,500 for rewiring one house, but I had 2 houses. So that was $7,000 out of my pocket, and not knowing that I could have had that all taken care of beforehand, before I bought the property. What I would have done was I would have lowered the price of my offer and lowered it by $3,500 and tell the seller, hey, I got to update the electrical. This is just what it's going to be. So this is my offer. I would have put it inside the offer. But I had to spend $7,000 on these 2 properties on the electricity, which electrical was actually fine. It was just out of code. So it had to be updated. So get real estate investing education. Now, with all of my students and all my coaching students, I have coaching that I work with them one-on-one, but I also have the Ultimate Real Estate Investing System. Now, that Ultimate Real Estate Investing System walks everybody from beginning to end, from nothing to, no business, no understanding of real estate, no knowledge of business, no knowledge of anything, to the very end, having your own fully functioning rental property business that makes you, at least with one property, $250 a month. And then you have that business that you can then put more properties, more inventory into that business. So basically, that business, think of it like a convenience store. Your business is already set up, and that's what I help you to do. And I help you to get that one piece of inventory, that one property inside there. Once you have, and if you view your properties like inventory, you have your business, you put that one property as inventory into your business. Now all you got to do is go out and buy another piece of inventory, another property, put that into your business and scale it up from there. It's self-scaling because your business is already set up. I already showed you how to do that. All right, guys. So now if you want to know more about the coaching, I want to give you the ability to go check out the coaching. At the very top of my website, masterpassiveincome.com, you'll see at the very top a link that says courses. Or if you want to just click on the link in the description, I'll put that in there as well. And on top of that, if you go to masterpassiveincome.com/courses, you can see everything that I have, my coaching and my courses. I just really want to help you out. But at the same time, if you want to just keep listening to my podcast, absolutely do so. If you want to go out and check other podcasts or blogs or read books, definitely do that. Get as much real estate education as possible because that education will help you to get over the fear. And once you get over that fear, that is when you will be able to make the decision and buy that first property. Okay, so there's so many more steps. And next week, we're going to continue in looking at how to start investing in real estate. And I've given you the groundwork. If you just get started on that right now, you will be in a much better position than anybody else who just says, I'm going to go buy a first rental property and rent it out. So get started working on that. And remember, go get your free book, masterpassiveincome.com/free book. I want to give that to you for free. All you do is pay a little bit of shipping and handling. I'll send it to you myself. masterpassiveincome.com/free book. All right, guys, you've been terrific. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm super excited for you and you changing your life forever by investing in real estate rental properties. All right, guys, get out there, start investing, learn as much as you can, and change your lives forever. All right, we'll see ya. And that is it for today. Go ahead and get my free real estate investing course. Text the word rental to 33777, RENTAL to 33777. You can also join my Real Estate Wealth Builders group coaching, get all my courses. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next show. See ya.